Hello guys, welcome to this Multimedia. This is Arjun Kokunda. Today we will be learning about representing numbers. Objective. Our objective for today will be understanding how to represent numbers in expanded form, standard form, word form, and place value. Standard form. Standard form is the easiest and normal way of writing large and small numbers. Examples: 2084, 7,484, 576, 34, 10, 5, and 1. Expanded form. Expanded form is expanding a number to show the value of each digit. Examples: 2,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 2, and 4,000 plus 200 plus 90 plus 0. Let's try these problems. Write the following in expanded form. Try to do them. Pause this video. Did you get a solution? Now I'll show you how to do it. 485. So how many zeros does 400 have? 2. So 400 85. So 80 plus 80 and plus 5. 5,678. That's your second one. So 5,000 plus 600 plus 70 plus 8. Next, 9,047. 9,000 plus 40, because there is no number here, 40 plus 7. And finally, 7,649. 7,000 plus 600, because of the 6 there, plus 40, and finally plus 9. So that's how you do expanded form problems. Place value blocks. Place value blocks are used to represent numbers in a fun way. Examples. So we can use cubes to show numbers in thousands. So each cube is 1,000, so both of them combined equals 2,000. Both of them combined, yeah. And squares, when you're using a two-dimensional image, its count is 100, so therefore 3 equals 300. Supposed to be 0. Okay, and then these are supposed to be count as each is supposed to be count as 10. So both of them combined equals 20. And finally, the tiny squares are count as 1 each. So all of them combined equals 6. Now let's write the following using place value blocks. 496. So 400. So hundreds is two-dimensional squares. So let's draw the squares. 4 squares because 400. 1, 2, 3. They're not perfect squares. Some of them might look like rectangles, but that's okay. And 96. So 9. That means we draw 9 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Finally, 6. So we draw 6 tiny squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's try this one. Wait, first, before we go to the next one, let's do this. Let's write 4,000 here to represent this, and 90 here, and 6 here. So we know how many each of them are worth. Now, let's try this one. 8,000. So we have to draw 8 cubes. 1. You don't have to be perfect. 2. 3. 4. And there's our 8. Sorry about that, didn't come out so well, like these two. Okay, now 400. So we put a plus sign and then draw 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and finally, not finally, we have 70 actually, 70. So let's draw 7 of these rectangular looking objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about this one? 5, 6, and 7. Now finally, 8. So we draw. Wait, what? Sorry. Supposed to put a plus sign. Plus 8. So 8 tiny squares. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that's how you do numbers using place value. So I wrote numbers for this one and didn't write numbers from this one. That's because I'm able to remember stuff. If you don't remember what each is worth, then I recommend using numbers. This is 400, not 4,000. Okay. Now, let's move on to word form. So, word form is another way of writing numbers. Word form means writing a number the way you would say it in words. For example, 3,409. Now, let's try these two problems. So how do you say this number as a word? Say it out loud. 886. So we write 886. Now let's do the second one. How would you say this in words? 8,774. Now let's write it in words. So 8,000 Sorry, my handwriting isn't that great. 700 and 74. That's your answer. Now that we're done learning these, let's try out a few problems by ourselves. So let's write these in standard form. 4,000 plus 600 plus 10 plus 2. So, would that be? Now let's take a look at our expanded form questions. We're basically adding up all these numbers. But there's an easier way. As you can see, this is the first digit. This is in hundreds, so it would be the second digit. This is in tens, so this would be the third digit. And this is in ones place, so that would be the last digit. Now, all we need to do is simply add 4, 6, 1, and 2. That's it. It's that simple. Now, let's take a look at this. This is in word form. Now we have to write in standard form. Let me just underline that. Okay, so 9,407. 9,407. 9,400. If you notice, there's no number in between. It says 407. So, put 0 over there, and then 7. Now this is in word form. But before we write the answer, let's write the values of each of them above it, or below. So we know how much each is worth. It says 2,000. It says 100. This is 30. And this finally is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay. So now we can just write these in like it's in expanded form. So 2,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 8. What would that be? 2,138. That's our answer. Now let's try this one. Why don't you guys pause this video this time and try this by yourself? Did you get an answer? Well, now I'll show you how to do it. It's in expanded form too, so if you notice there's only 2 zeros. That means it's in hundreds place. So 327. Now let's write the following in expanded form. 3,409. What would that be? So try it by yourself first, then I'll show you how to do it. Did you get an answer? These ones might be a bit tricky, 3 and 4, because they're not in standard form, but they're quite easy if you work harder. So let's try the first one, 3,409. So 3,000 plus 400 plus nothing, because there's nothing over there, and then plus 9. So we directly go to 9. There's nothing in between. Now, 6,578. So that would be 6,000 plus 500 plus 70 plus 8. Now we need to do this one. Don't get hard on yourself. This one's pretty hard, but you'll get used to it. So 6,507. It is really hard to directly changing it to expanded form for the first time. But first, let's turn it into normal form. So like these. It says 6,000. 6, 500, and 7. So there's nothing here. Let's just put a 0 and 7. Now, all we need to do here is convert this into expanded form. So 6,000 plus 500, 100, sorry, I put 5,000. Let me erase that. And then plus 7. That's our answer. Okay, so now we have two squares. We don't have cubes. So that's 200 plus 10, sorry, and plus 3. So we need to write an expanded form. So this is expanded form. This is our answer right here. Let's just write it here so it's more visible. And plus 3. Okay, now that's how you do expanded form problems. If you still don't get the point, rewatch this video at the beginning when I showed you how to do it, and try a few problems by yourself. Now let's try problems using place value blocks. Place value blocks, so a cube represents 1,000. So 1,000. A square represents 100. A tiny rectangle represents 10. And a tiny square represents 1. Just write them somewhere on your paper, whichever, anything you're writing on. So you have it just to know the stuff. So now it says 3,000. So we have to draw 3 cubes. So 3,000. One more. And then 100. So plus 1 square. And 0, so we don't have to do anything for the rectangles. And 2, so we have to draw 2 tiny squares. Now pause this video and try these out by yourself. Did you get a solution? Well, like I said, again, you just need to convert these into standard form and do it. So 522. So 522. There's no thousands place, so we don't have to do this one. So this would be 500. So 5 squares. And 22. So plus a tiny rectangle and and 2 tiny squares. Sorry, 2 tiny rectangles and 2 tiny squares. Sorry about that. I messed up. Okay. And 2 tiny squares. Okay. Now, this one we don't really need to convert it into standard form because it's more easier for us in expanded form. 200. So that would mean 2 squares. Big ones. Okay, 2 big squares. And plus 10. So 1 tiny rectangle. And finally, plus 3. So plus 3 tiny squares. That's how you do numbers using, convert it into place value. Now, finally, we're going to write it in word form. This is going to be our last 3 questions. So why don't you try these out by yourself? Did you get a solution? Well, now let's try them out together. 3,450. So, 3,450. What would that mean? 3,000. How do you say that loud? 3,000. So, 3,450. Okay, that's our answer here. Now, this is an expanded form, so that might make it easier for us. So, 1,000. So, 1,000 500 and 9, because there's nothing in tens place like there's here. There's nothing here, so and 9. Now it's our last and final question for the day. If you haven't already tried it, try it out right now. So now, first let's convert it into expanded form like this. So 1,000 plus there is nothing in hundreds place, so because there's no square. So plus 30 plus 5. So our word form would be 1,000 and I mean and 35. 1,035. That's it. That's all we do. 35. All right, 5 right here. I don't have enough space. That's it. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around until the end. So now, all you need to do is remember your forms and practice them every day until you perfect them. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If this video helped you out, please like and share. And please subscribe to our channel.